So guys, I want to welcome you to our very, very first podcast. This is a little bit of an experiment which we're working on today. So we're really excited actually. The whole reason why we want to do this is we want to try and give, our industry, our people a voice and to really talk about tangible, authentic challenges, issues, opportunities, which we are all going through right now. So it makes perfect sense that we have the legendary Danny Lee, who is joining us on our very first podcast. Danny, you've been with us since the very, very beginning, so I think it's only right that we get you on our sofa, our Phil and Fern sofa.
I mean, I did have to take some time out of my busy schedule.
Well, I mean, because everyone's so busy right now.
Busy.
It's really difficult.
So busy.
So on that note, though, we've been in lockdown now since, sometime in March. I think all the days and the weeks start to merge and so on. And it's been a very challenging time for everybody.
Yeah.
I think it's very safe to say. So what has that been like for you? What's that experience been, if you want to share it with the listeners?
So for me, the actual lockdown, I went through stages. I did the whole 9 yards of lockdown experience. From the first 3 weeks, I was that guy on Instagram, spreading positivity,
there was a lot of them.
Taking a journey inward, set foundations for your future, reflect on yourself. I did all of it. That was the first 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then the weeks after that, it's I was training, so I was doing online classes. I baked a few banana breads.
There's a lot of banana bread baking.
Made loads of it.
Yeah.
And then, I joined the TikTok mafia, which I feel if you want to feel your age, join TikTok.
Well, it's we were having a discussion the other day, I just don't get it, to be honest. There's a couple of people which I've seen, it's that's actually pretty cool. There was a guy who, I think we know, Austin, he had the one with Tina Turner.
Yeah,
and it got picked up by Oprah. It's funny, it's really good. But I do not know how to work it.
I think if you, I did a few, I think if you pass the age of 31, you definitely should just put the phone down and not do it. And they take hours as well. It's not a 5-minute thing. You have to prep it, you have to copy it, you have to learn the words. I did 5 and I was no, I'm good, I'm done.
I guess the good thing is you've got lots of time in your hands, because what else is there to do?
Yeah, but it was very time consuming. I just felt really old doing it, so I don't want to ever do them again.
We are getting really old though.
And then I had my days where, I just smashed in KFC. I just stayed in bed. I didn't sleep. I just slept. I didn't train. I didn't do anything. And then as we're coming back to some kind of normality, I'm in this kind of limbo of doing everything, being productive one day, sleeping all day the next, eating crap, training, just what am I actually doing?
But do you think that's part of the challenge that we all have right now, and especially creative people, because creative people like to do stuff, and the fact that you're stuck in a house or you're stuck, with social distancing and restrictions means that you can't do that. There's kind of no light at the end of the tunnel right now.
Yeah.
It's very,
Yeah, it's very one-sided. Just if we had some kind of especially with our industry where we plan for the next 6 months. So when them plans come to a halt and it's oh well, actually you've got nothing to do for the next 3-4 months until God knows when things go back to normal. What do you do?
And the thing is, things will go back to some sort of normal, and we'll talk about that shortly. But I think one of the things which I wanted to touch upon today is, our mental health. I think, as creative people, we're definitely not equipped for being locked down or for facing a pandemic. It's obviously happened in the past. I think 100 years ago was the last biggest one. Mentally and emotionally, how has this situation affected you?
I think you've got to roll with the punches. I think you've got to just go, especially for me, because I'm an absolute control freak. So for something to be out of my control and I can't plan or I can't do anything, the moment, and this has been a very hard thing for me, the moment I let go of that, okay, you actually can't do anything. You can't control this, but you can control how you react to it.
Completely.
So that's kind of where I'm at now. It took me a good 5 weeks to get there. There was times where I was I don't want to do it anymore, I hate it. KFC, bring me 20 buckets and then just smack, but I think it's okay to not be okay.
And I think that's relevant now, even leading up to this, the challenges of daily life, there's obviously lots of pressure and mental health, anxiety, stress. We work in a very stressful environment, but I think you were talking about, for me personally, it was the fact that, you go straight into survival mode. You're literally thinking, okay, how can I fix this? But ultimately, you were mentioning before, you can't actually fix it.
You can't do anything.
This is a challenge which is much bigger than us. So all you can do is you can look at how we can support your family, the people around you, and then you start to obviously look at okay, well, how can we support, the wider industry? How can we get more creative? How can we do more things? But I think, like the whole experience, and again, I'm only talking for me personally, but like it can send you into a really dark place. Like there was times where like I felt ecstatic and I was like, yep, we've got this. And then like you said, the next day it's like, I just want to stay in bed all day. And like the guy from delivery who literally knows me personally now, like I've been ordering like Cinnabon, the big Cinnabon.
Like, hi mate, how are you?
No, he's like literally, he's like, he
like,
literally turned around to me one day, he's like, dude, he's like, you need to like, you need to sort this out. Like, so I'm like, really? But and I think, yeah, we're normally quite extrovert people and we're out there and stuff like that. But I think, collectively for everybody, and whether that's like healthcare professionals, people which have, gone through the virus or families or whatever, it's been a very challenging and stressful time for everybody. Yeah. I mean, like, I mean, in that regard, how do you feel then that it's affected the entertainment industry in particular? Because this has been like decimated, to be honest.
That's a question and a half. That's a very low. Like, I mean, like at this moment in time, what industry? Like, what can we like? It's affected it in a big way. Just imagine, like, we're so used to this. It happened at the peak time of the season for us, for events, but going into the summer, like it happened at the like worst time.
Well, that's a good point, actually, because, from my perspective as a business, like, we make a lot of our revenue in like March and April, before Ramadan. And we had a whole season of projects which were lined up, literally taking us all the way to like April 2021, Expo, other things, and every single piece of business has been cancelled.
It was like day after, it was like one day this, next day that. Like I had projects lined, like you said, I had projects lined up. Some, to be fair, have been pushed back to the end of the year. Yeah. Inshallah, let's hope that they actually do come off. But like the industry, I feel sorry for, well, I think as entertainers and creatives and stuff like that, we do put money away for a rainy day, but not a rainy year.
Yeah, and I think that's the point, and again, I speak as an individual and on a business, is like, yeah, we put money away for a rainy day. Like I burnt through my savings right now. Yeah. Like, so everything that I put through for a rainy day is evaporating really quickly. And again, like going back to what we talked about earlier, without any clear end in sight, which there will be, and there is, like that clarity is starting to come now and kind of understanding as things start to open up what that may look like. But I think, none of us in our wildest dreams ever planned for a pandemic. Yeah. It's one of the one things that I never actually thought about.
I think the industry in Dubai will change a lot because a lot of people, like, if in the UK, you can go and be an Uber driver, you can go and get a shift at a bar, you can go and, work at McDonald's and do a few shifts to earn some money. But here you don't have that luxury. So I think it's gonna affect it here a lot, where people will be a mass exodus of performers who actually can't physically afford to stay.
I think that's really true. And then, what then do we as an industry, or what do we as, businesses which hire freelancers, and, we're not guilty of this, but like we're going through the same challenge right now. How do we support freelancers in particular, or the creative industries, in this time ahead?
I think right now it's just like doing platforms like this, giving people a voice, creating content, supporting them as much as you can with your resources. That's all you can do, and give them that bit of hope that things will get better, and things without sounding cheesy, just give them that lifeline instead of them being like, okay, when's this gonna end? Like, I'm gonna panic. Do I need to go home? Do I need to do this? Like, just to give them a bit of like direction and be like, guys, here's a bit of
and I mean, like, I think that's the biggest thing. It's like hope, because I think, again, we talked about it previously, like, when you're confined to, your house, your apartment, whatever, some people luxury, they have gardens, pools, whatever, a lot of us don't. So when we're stuck indoors, you kind of lose that hope. And I think, for me personally, I definitely did. You start to question, like, why am I here? What am I doing? Should I go home? Like, all of a sudden, your mum's sofa, and, like, being
so many times I went there in my head.
Of course, like, I think we're still going through that one. But I think, and again, like us as a business, like, we need to do things better for freelancers and for talent. We're going through the same challenges that everybody else is, from cash flow, not knowing how to look after our people, not knowing, if, my team will have a job next month. These are all challenges which we're all trying to figure out. And I think, we now have a responsibility as an industry to get back on our feet as quickly and as safely as possible. And, in fact, actually, I should say as safely and as quickly as possible. Because I think, this is obviously, it's a health and well-being challenge. And, we need to look at how we can mitigate the risks associated, in the future, if we want to do events and performances, what is that risk to our people, our talent, and also our audience. But I think we also have to come to, realize that at some point we do have to get back to work. And at some point, we do have to get back to doing what we creatively want to do.
That doesn't just go for the creative industry and the events. It goes to everything. We have to get back to some kind of normality one day. We cannot, unless they go in lockdown for a whole 2 years, that it's actually gone. This is, I feel, and don't come for me.
Well, this is the challenge because everyone all of a sudden becomes a coronavirus expert. So yeah, obviously,
no disclaimer. I am not a coronavirus expert.
Obviously, we're not doctors. We can share an opinion.
I'm not a doctor, but my thought is it's not going anywhere.
Well, it's not unless there's a vaccine.
Unless there's a vaccine, but. Again, we are not doctors or professionals.
But I think that goes back to what we're talking about. Nobody has the correct answer right now. We can all crystal ball. We can all have an opinion. We just have to, we have to learn to live with the challenge and the situation that we've got and minimize the risk for everybody. I think that's all we can do right now.
Yeah.
You mentioned something earlier, a second ago, it's about the new normal. I think this is like a word which everybody's using now, and it's kind of one of those things which starts to irritate me quite considerably, because it's like, what is that new normal? It's kind of like the normal, just with something different. As an events industry, there's always a challenge. There's always something, whether, it's a terrorism incident or something. Our industry always goes through changes. So when people talk about new normal, kind of how does that make you feel? What do you think that new normal might be? How do you see what we do, what you do in particular, in the time ahead?
I think that, for my role, I see a lot of performances. I am all about the live performance. I'm not going to be sitting oh, I see it all going like this, but I see it being a lot more production heavy in terms of tech, so we don't have to have so many performers. I think performers volumes will drop. I think it'll be very interesting to see how events deal with, because I don't think social distancing is going anywhere anytime soon.
Well, it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon, but eventually it will end.
But I think to get back to normal, I think people will do events, but I think there'll be guidelines and stuff in place.
100%.
But then it's how do we as creatives and how do we make that experience a part of the other experience?
Exactly.
Instead of just being we have to check your temperature. It's how do we still make the event cool and fun without killing the event?
So I'm going to say then, do you think as a creative then, obviously this is a challenging situation and, we all wish it never happened, but do you feel that there are some, very interesting creative developments that could come out of us going through this ordeal?
For sure. I feel I think it's give a huge platform to this. I think we'll call on Zoom and technology more, because it's always been there, but we've kind of never thought if you want to do a casting, we could do an international casting quite easy, and it's always been there, but it's something that you just never think to do. But now we'd go, it wouldn't be second guessing. You'd be okay, let's do a casting over Zoom, and then I think using the stuff that Zoom and Skype and stuff like that to set up castings and meetings with people. I think that is.
Well, that's interesting because it was, I was talking to someone, or I think it was I read something, and it's the kind of the days of, those, meetings that you don't need, or those conversations which could have been a phone call, it's more relevant now than ever because people don't want to meet in person. We can become more efficient. I think for me personally, one of the challenges is, we look at our industry and many people are trying to, I'm going to use the word, but I hate it. I actually hate it. Pivot. Everyone's trying to pivot to digital. And, I was talking to a really good friend of mine, and he used the analogy of that, it's almost like a supermarket all of a sudden pivoting to be a pet store because, a supermarket can't open. Yeah. And he's like, why? He's like, because eventually you're going to go back to being a supermarket, eventually live events will happen. He said, however, it's almost like, that pet store should sell stuff in a supermarket. So it's almost like a hybrid, How do you see, especially again, like I said, in performances, how do you see that change? Is the future a move to digital?
Definitely. It's I think we were having a conversation before, like I said to you before, going back to the shopping thing, it's like when you buy something online, so you go online, you pick it, you choose it. The experience isn't over once you've pressed collect items from cart. You don't go, oh, that was great. Yeah. The experience is the real experience of you getting your product, of you trying it on, of you eating it. It's the same with live events. If you put an event online, where's the human? Where's the element? Where's the event?
The connection.
Where's the connection?
Well, as humans, our whole being, we're social. You know, actually, like, you know, there's a lot of people which are introverted, and, you know, for them right now, you
Hello,
know,
I'm one of them.
well, you're not really. I mean, kind of. Well, to be honest, like, you know, I don't know whether it's because we're getting old, but that whole social distancing thing, I mean, we've started to do it a lot.
Love it. Absolutely love it. When people don't have to stand next to you in a queue, that's so good.
Or an elevator.
Well, yeah, like, don't talk to me and don't come near me.
I've started to become one of these people, which is like, I'm really sorry, people, but there's like more than 3 people in this elevator. It's like step away. We digress. I can't remember what we were talking about then. Oh, yeah, sorry, social beings. You know, as humans, like, we want that interaction. You know, we want to be together. We want to get sweaty. We want to go to an event, and to be close to our friends, and to share those intimate moments. Like, so do you obviously feel that, you know, the digital world will never replicate that live experience?
No way. Unless like some kind of crazy technology, that Black Mirror style, where you actually feel like you're there and you feel all your senses are activated. Until that day, no. People want the live. People want the experience. People want definitely me. Like, I want, like you said, I want to go. I want to get sweaty. I want to go and see the DJ. I want to be in the crowd. I want to see a live show. I want to go and take something away. I don't want to watch a concert in me underpants on a laptop and then pay $300 for it. Nah, no way.
Well, that's the point, actually. You talk about pay, but I mean, I guess a slight frustration maybe for all of us, and I understand why people do it, but, you know, there's lots of free content online these days.
Yeah.
You know, even some of the bigger establishments are all of a sudden like streaming free concerts and free, you know, performances. You know, do you think that in a way is doing more damage to the industry, or is it a beneficial?
No, I think it's beneficial now, because it's keeping artists and stuff like that who still need to be relevant and stuff. It's keeping them relevant.
Yeah.
Like, they still need to, you know, like Dua Lipa, for example. She had a tour booked in for November, but she's done so much live content, which is cool and it's great, because we need that right now.
Yeah.
But I think once we slowly start to come out of it, what's the excuse? Like, okay, we just need to cater for social distancing in live events. Like, I don't want to sit and watch, like I said, I don't want to sit and watch Dua Lipa on my laptop. I want to go and see her.
Yeah.
So I think for the situation in the now, I think it's great. I think what they're doing, they're keeping people active, they're keeping people engaged with them as brands. But I think in the bigger picture,
it's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
Ultimately, you need to monetize, or you need to create revenue from it.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, when we're all putting stuff online, this included, you know, we don't make any revenue from this. It doesn't pay the bills. Again, you know, we need to get back to doing what we do and we love, and we need to be doing that in a safe and professional environment.
Yeah.
So in terms of, you know, the future, you know, we talked about technology and all the rest of it, like, you know, for you personally, you know, after going through this journey and having this whole experience that none of us have ever gone through, unless you're 100 odd years old, you know, how do you think this has changed you as a person now moving ahead? You know, because a lot of people have that, you know, I'm going to learn a new language, I'm going to learn how to cook, I'm going to read a book.
Lasted a week for me. Like, I did all of it, like, and I was like, no, I need to work, I need to get out. But I think for me, what I've learned from this experience, and I'm going to sound like an absolute nightmare now, so don't judge me for it, is
we might.
You know, I took a journey inward. I'm a lot grateful and appreciative for the small things.
That's actually
like,
very true.
I'm very grateful for, like, you know, I had a Zoom meeting about a project in November, and I got off the meeting and I was like, do you know what? I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
Like, I went for a walk along the beach yesterday. Like, was grateful for it. Like,
I mean, yeah, it's just refreshing. Like you said, it's all those things that we took for granted.
Yeah.
And I think it might be quite interesting to see how things pan out in the future, because I'm guilty of it. I'm probably one of the worst people. You say yes to something and you don't go.
Yeah, don't do it. Let's collaborate. Okay, yeah, whatever.
But it never happens. So now, actually, maybe as we've all gone through this journey, maybe actually we'll become a lot more authentic and genuine.
Yeah.
You know, and I can't wait to go back to the gym. Like,
oh my god, I cannot wait. I'm gonna like hug the gym when I see it. Like,
from it. Well, I'm gonna sanitize. You have to sanitize afterwards. But like, this is why I got the cushion here. Like, I've been smashing in those Cinnabons. Like, I'm dying to go to the gym.
No, but to be fair, for me, like, on paper and with my watch, like, I'm probably the healthiest I've ever been. Like, I've lost weight, I'm drinking water, I'm meditating, I'm training every day. Like, but like, the human interaction of being in an actual live gym and live set
with people,
I'm craving for it. Like, I'm gagging for it.
I think for me, like I'd wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and be like, I can't be bothered going today. But like I said, going back to that experience and, you know, we appreciate now the little things. It's like, oh, do you know what? Like I paid for that, I'm going.
Like, hi Dave.
I've committed. Yeah, hi Dave. You know, just again, I think hopefully, I don't know, as humans, we always have the ability to forget very quickly. So I'm conscious that, you know, we might just go back to being normal, which is...
Well, let's hold on to this feeling and say that we're
selves.
not going to do that. Let's make a promise to ourselves that we're not going to be them flaky people.
Well, we're going to try to.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's all we can do.
I mean, you are a flake.
I mean,
You're the biggest flake I've ever met in my whole life.
I am. But I think it's because I am getting old. Like, I've started to get to that point now where it's like, you know, you get home from work at 7, it's like, oh man, I just want to watch Sky News. Although I can't watch Sky News anymore because it's all about the pandemic. But yeah, I think, you know, we should actually try and make more of an effort. And I think if we can come out of this, and again, we're not preaching and whatever, you know, I think everybody's gone through like their own little thing. But maybe if we can just come out with this being a bit more authentic and a bit more genuine, 100%. Then it will definitely help. And then obviously, like leading on to that, then, you know, for our industry, our talent, I think that's more relevant than ever. You know, if like we can create a platform or we can support or we can contribute to how we can change this industry, then... We'll
get it back on its feet.
Well, no, it's about getting it back on its feet, because if we get people working, we can start paying the bills. Like, let's face it, like, you know, my mum paid my rent yesterday. I'm 38 years old and my mum has to pay my rent.
I might have a clearance sale of all my clothes. So if anyone wants to, I might be having a clearance sale.
But it's like, you know, the clothes we can't fit in because we've all been smashing in Cinnabons and KFC.
Oh, no, yeah.
Cool. Well, Danny, it is really good to see you. Thank you so much for coming in.
No,
like,
thanks.
You know, we love you. You're such a fundamental part to everything that we do. And... you know, and I want to say out to all of the talent, all the people which listen, hopefully people listen, there's probably like one.
Yeah, my mum, mine and your mum.
My mum's three, there you go. Ash's mum as well.
Watch them go.
But no, in a genuine way, like, you know, we want to build a credible voice for people within our industry.
Yeah.
Especially for the people which are unheard. And, you know, we're late on the line, we'll try and do what we can do. And if anyone's got ideas or wants to get involved and come and speak to us, then definitely. I mean, you know, we can only do what we can do to support each other. And, you know, I think it's going to actually be really interesting. Like, once we get through this and eventually we all get back to work, it will be very interesting to see what has changed, if anything.
Sure, 100%.
Guys, thank you for listening.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for watching. If you did watch. Thanks to Ash's mum, my mum, Danny's mum, the 3 people that viewed. We will be here every Thursday, 3 p.m. live. So yeah, join us next week. We'll be posting on socials soon what we're doing. And yeah, join us and be part of the conversation. That's what we want to do. We want to build our tribe. So yeah, get involved.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Peace out.